Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Pastor Eugene Jones from the Body of Jesus Christ Ministries International. We'd like to thank you for joining us on another Sunday morning teaching. We'd like to also welcome those of you that are here with us as well. And we're going to get started today in another lesson that I think that will be a very inspiring lesson to those of you that are viewing us by means of internet and those that are here with us as well as live. All right. Today, I want to share something with you about an observation of mine in life. Sometime in life, we get caught up in something we call the rat race. And sometimes the terminology of the rat race, I get caught up in the rat race, means that we're just striving, running, seeking, expending energy, trying to accomplish the goals of life. Trying to compete, trying to succeed at the efforts. And after we've gone to schools and got our educations and got our degrees and got everything that is important to us in life that would give us the necessary paperwork and to match our what we would call our inspiration or our motivation to make it in life, to arrive there in life. Ladies and gentlemen, sometime in all of that, we still find ourselves not accomplishing or fulfilling the desires and the goals that we may have in life. In other words, just to plainly say, I'm still seeking and I'm still feeling empty within myself after I've done all that I can to succeed in life. Today, we're going to kind of look at a brother that was empowered by God with the ability and had great wisdom, knowledge, and insight. He was anointed by God. And we're going to look at his conclusion of the rat race. And I want you to listen to me very closely. We're going to look at a brother by the name of King Solomon, greatest man I believe ever lived on the earth, other than our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. When it comes to wisdom and knowledge, Solomon was considered a great man when it came to wisdom and knowledge. And in Solomon's time of life, he had discovered something that we are all going to come to the same conclusion that Solomon came to. And we want you to, ladies and gentlemen, be able to continue to follow along with us. And we're going to read some of the writings and some of the insight and footnotes that he left for us to be able to see what was his conclusion. And when he was in the rat race, and accomplishing and going forward to experience the life that God had set before him. So we're going to look at his experience and what was the conclusion after he had lived a period of years. What was his conclusion after his experience? So we're going to take off and we're going to begin. The title of this lesson today says, None Like Me. And what I mean by that, none like me, is God says that I set things up and I set up roles for us to play, and I set up things and experience for humans to experience. And in this setup that God sets for us, amen, when we learn God and we learn things about God, we will realize that we will see in the scripture when God said, there's none like me. He says, I'm the beginning and the ending of everything. And so God in his teaching teaches us there's none like him. And so we're going to look today at a part of how God operates and what it is that God sets before us as a people to understand that there's actually none like God in reality. So we're going to take off here. We're going to look at a spokesman for God. And we're going to ask Brother Gibbard to help us when he can with this, to participate and help us. And one of the other ones, you all can kind of be quiet for a moment. We're going to Brother Gibbard us to just work together here today. We're going to start out with this today, and it's going to say our what?
Spokesman for God from Ecclesiastes 1:14.
All right, spokesman for God, Ecclesiastes 1:14. We're going to look at a person that's going to speak from his experience and speaking for God in the way that God set things up. Ecclesiastes 1:14, it reads as follows. Read for me, brother.
I have seen all the works that are done under the sun.
He said, I've seen all the works that are done under the sun. And he says, behold, what?
All is vanity and vexation of spirit.
He said, I've seen all the works. All the works. Now, for that brother to make the statement that I've seen all the works that are done under the sun, he have seen some things. He have seen some things. And he say, in seeing all of these works done under the sun, living here on the earth, he says, I've come to the conclusion that they're all what? Vanity and what?
Vexation.
Now, what is vanity? What is vanity? Vanity mean what? I'll give it to you. What do you think vanity mean? None of something of non-profit. It's kind of in the phase of a non-profit. It's the value of it. If you look it up, it means vanity, infestation of spirit. Vanity. That means that the realness of it, the reality of the vanity, infestation of spirit. He said, everything that I've seen under the sun and everything that I've done, here's the conclusion. We're going to see him say this quite often. Vanity and what we call vestation of what? Spirit. So what he said, the things that I've learned in my time of living, these things, they've only vexed my spirit. My spirit is my real man, and my real man, after looking at life and looking at everything that life has to offer, he said, I wind up being vexed in my spirit. And let's see why. Let's see why. Another translation here that I took, another translation, and I wanted to read this from what I call the modern English version. And I want to read this. This is Solomon coming from Ecclesiastes 1:13 through 15 verse. He says this. Go for me. He said, I set my heart to do what?
To seek and to investigate with wisdom everything that is done under heaven.
Let's just stop right there. He said, I took my heart, and he said, I went seeking to investigate, to examine. He said, I set my heart to examine or to investigate wisdom in everything that is done under the heaven. Now, here's this man again. He's still talking about everything that's done under the sun. He said, God had given me great wisdom, and I want to investigate life in itself. What is it so alive, and what is life about? So he said, I sat and I began to investigate with the wisdom that was given to me. He said, I began to investigate everything that's done under the sun. He said, it is what, Brother Gilbert? What did he say? It is a what?
It is a burdensome task that God has given to the sons of men.
It is a burden. He said, I set my heart. Now, I want you to listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. He said, I set my heart to investigate life in itself. He said, when I did that, ladies and gentlemen, I ran into something. He said, I ran into something. It is a burdensome task that God has given the sons of men. What is? To understand life. It is a burdensome task. He said, I want you to listen to this. Now, it's a burdensome task that God has given to the sons of men, by which they may be what? Occupied. He said, it's going to burden him when you're going to stay occupied, trying to figure it out. You're going to continue to be working, trying to figure out what his life itself is about. He said, but I've seen everything that is done under the sun, right? And he said, indeed, what did he say? Indeed, all is what?
All have everything. All have seen everything that is done under the sun, and indeed all is vanity and like chasing the wind. He said, I've seen it all. I took the wisdom that God gave me. He said, everything that I've seen under the sun, he said, in chasing and running, he said, all of the things that under the sun are done. He said, ladies and gentlemen, here's my conclusion. He said, it's all vanity and like chasing the wind. I'm going to say that again. He says, all is like vanity and chasing the wind. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me say this to you. He says, in life, when you're in the rat race, you're running, trying to get wealth. You're running, trying to seek after the perfect relationship. You're running, trying to do this and do that. He said, I want to share with you. I got the wisdom of God, the knowledge of God. He said, but I've come to one conclusion. It's like trying to catch the wind. What is he saying? Like trying to catch the wind. He said, life, he said, God has given us the burdensome task of trying to figure out what is life about. He said, to figure it out, it's like trying to chase the wind or trying to catch the wind. He said, it is, say, listen what he says.
When it is what?
What is bent cannot be straightened.
Now here's conclusion. Now he said, what is bent in life cannot be what? Straightened. And what is missing cannot be what?
Counted.
Now watch this. In other words, he said, when what is missing, the word missing is what is wanted. In another translation, he said, what is wanted in life cannot be counted. Listen, there's so much in life that people want. There's so many things in life. Solomon said, I've discovered that you can't even put the numbers on the wants of life, the things that we want in life, the desires that we need in life. He said, you can't even put numbers to it. He said, I realized that things in life that is bent cannot be straightened out. He said, I've also discovered in life what is wanted or what is missing cannot be counted. Now, this is his conclusion. In life, life is full of mystery. He said, it is a burdensome task just to figure out life. I want you to catch this now, trying to figure life out. And many of us, we go to schools, we get the degrees, we get everything, but we still found out that this man was more wiser than any education that a man could ever get with degrees. But this man still says life will bring you, and life has an occupying task that we can have just trying to figure life out. And he said, what I figured out, that trying to become that person that can run and figure out life is like catching the wind. And he says this, you can't straighten out those things that are bent. You don't quite understand yet that life has so many wants in it that it cannot be counted. Now, who can fulfill that? Life has so many wants, according to this preacher, that its numbers cannot compute to the wants and the desires of life itself under the sun. Watch this. Let's go on to chapter 2. I want to put something up here in chapter 2. I want to begin to read at the 4th verse. He says, I made great works. I want you to listen to what he says here. I have built what? Houses. And I've done what?
Planted vineyards.
I planted vineyards for who?
Myself.
Now he says this. Now here's a man that was wealthy. This brother was wealthy beyond wealth. He had everything that a man could want in life. He said, let me give you my resume. Let me give you my accomplishment. He said, I've done great works. He said, I built houses. I planted vineyards. He said, I made myself vineyard gardens. He said, I made myself gardens and parks. He said, not only did I have vineyards, he said, but I made parks. And what does he say? And I planted in them all the what?
Gardens and parks, and planted in them all kinds of fruit trees.
And he said, in my gardens and in my vineyards, I planted all kinds of fruit trees and everything. He said, I made for myself what?
I made myself pools from which to water the forest of growing trees.
He said, I made pools, swimming pools, forests, and water, the water growing trees. Continue. He said, I bought males and what? Continue.
I bought male and female slaves.
He said, I bought myself slaves, male and female slaves. Continue.
And had slaves who were born in my house.
He said, I also had them to multiply. I had slaves born in my house. So I bought slaves and owned slaves and birth, and I birthed slaves. Come on, continue.
I had also great possessions of herds and flocks.
He said, I also had great possession of animals and flocks and cattle and sheep and all of these. He said, I had all of that. So go.
More than any who had been before me.
He said, nobody has ever had more than me. Any before me that, like anybody ever before me or anybody ever come after me in Jerusalem. I was also gathered. He said, I also gathered for myself what? Silver and what?
And gold and the treasure of kings and provinces.
He said, I also gathered for myself silver, gold. He said, I gathered all type of things. He said, I had all of this stuff, silver and gold, and the treasures of all kings and provinces. And what? I got singers and what else?
Both men and women and many concubines.
He said, I had both men and women and many concubines, wives and girlfriends and mistresses and women. He said, I delighted in sons of men. He said, so I became great and I surpassed all who were before me in Jerusalem. Also, my wisdom remained with who?
Me.
Amen. My wisdom remained with me. Is that what he said?
Yes, he did.
All right. But ladies and gentlemen, I want you to look at this now. Now, he's the greatest man that ever lived on the earth when it came to wisdom and knowledge. Good morning. When it came to wisdom and knowledge, guess what? Guess what he said? Now, I want you to get this. I want us to get this, because sometimes in life, we don't understand that we're in a rat race in life. And I want you to catch this because this is very important. This man, what I'm talking about for a moment, this man, King Solomon here, and I came from a modern translation. He said, I've set my heart to seek and to investigate He said, I set my heart to seek and to investigate with wisdom everything that is done under the sun. He said, I decided that I'm going to find out what life is about. I'm going to investigate it. He said, God done give me wisdom. God done give me knowledge. I'm going to find out why I'm here. Ladies and gentlemen, and this man had wisdom and knowledge like none other. And guess what he said? He said, when I get through with this investigation, I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm going to give you my analogy. I'm going to tell you why with all my wisdom and knowledge. And ladies and gentlemen, in other words, he said, I'm going to give you something that would help you on your journey. I'm going to curve your learning. I'm going to curve your seeking. I'm going to help you realize what you're going to come to the conclusion that I came to. And I'm going to show you what he said this morning. He said, with all this wisdom that God gave me and all this knowledge that gave me, he said, I set out to investigate with the wisdom of everything that is done under the sun. He said, I want to understand it is a burdensome task that God has given the sons of men. He says it's a burdensome task. What is the burdensome task? Life in itself. I want you to catch this now. Because when I was reading this morning, life in itself is a burdensome task that God has given the Son of Man, whom we are, by which they may be occupied. It's a task. You be ever occupied trying to work this thing out, trying to figure out what life is about. You forever be occupied, trying to figure your little brains out, trying to work it out. And you still haven't come to the conclusion yet. Why am I here? Now, this is why this man never lived on earth other than Jesus. And he said, I'm going to give you my conclusion. What I've discovered with this wisdom God gave me, this knowledge God gave me, he said, I'm going to help you to learn something. He said, because we all wind up at the same conclusion. Now, this brother here did some talking. I'm going to share something with you. He said, so it's a burdensome task. He said that God has given to who? The sons of men. By that we may be what? Occupied, that we may use to work with. I have seen everything that is done under the what? Sun. And indeed, all it is what? Vanity. And what? Like chasing the wind. He said, everything I've seen under the sun is like running after the wind. Wow. Tell me, anybody in here, who can catch the wind? I want you to catch it now. And we getting the testimony of a great man here, man, that I got the privilege to read this man's insight, this man's analogy. A lot of times when I read the word of God, I say, God, I think I got an opportunity to read the wisdom of a man, to read his conclusion. I mean, you see a lot of foolishness from people that ain't smart, but he is one of the smartest men ever than Jesus that walked the earth. And this man gives us the insight, the conclusion of what we're going to all come to. We're all going to conclude. Conclude. How many know what conclude means? Finish. Yeah. We come to an end. And at the end, what have we learned? This is what he's talking about. I'm at my end. I've been given all this wisdom. I'm trying to help y'all. Y'all go get your degrees. Y'all get your little jobs. You get your little money. You wake up in the rat race. Every day you're in a rat race. He said, but I'm here to tell you something. You're going to wind up like I did. Your degrees ain't going to mean nothing. Your money is not going to mean nothing. Your clothes, your looks, your education, it ain't going to mean nothing. He said, you're going to have the same task that I have. You're going to have a burdensome. You're going to find out that none of that stuff can fulfill your longing, your innerness, your fulfillment. He says, stuff ain't gonna do it. I know I ain't in the word, but I ain't gonna do it. Probably isn't going to work. Burdensome task. You're gonna be occupied trying to do it. I've seen everything that's done under the sun. Now, this man is so smart that God gave him. He said, I've seen everything. And what did he say after I've seen everything? Indeed, all is what? He said, it's like chasing the wind. He said, I'm still telling you. He said, I've seen all this stuff done under the sun. He said, all this stuff that I've seen under the sun, it's like chasing the wind. Who can catch the wind? Come on, kids, I'll tell me, who can catch the wind? Nobody that I know of. You mean tell me, as smart as humanity is, we can't catch the wind? He said that you're running after to fulfill your life is like chasing the wind. Stop. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, you ain't gonna catch the wind. Lost effort, because you ain't gonna catch the wind. Watch what he says now. It's like chasing the wind. He said, what is bent? Here's his statement. Now, what he said, what is bent cannot be what? Straight. Solomon said, I discovered in life that bent things, you can't even straighten them out. What else did he say? What is missing cannot be what? Counted. Now, this word missing in another translation, King James, it says what is wanted. The wants of life cannot even be counted. You can't even put numbers on. The man said, in all my living, it's so much of things that you're gonna want. You can't even count it. So you might as well just get your little mind up, because your wants gonna forever be adding up on you. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. Solomon said, I'm trying to help you out. You can't count it. Now I was reading this morning. I say, God said, I want you to listen to the wisest man other than me give his analogy to life. He said, the wants, you can't even count them. I say, what? Watch this now. Watch this. I'm going to continue. Say, talk, Solomon.
Talk, Solomon.
What does he say? I'm going to go to another. I'll go this. I did the American Standard Translation version. And watch what he said. This same man talking. I want y'all to put another piece of his conversation on. He says, I've done what? He said, I did what?
Great work.
He said, I did great work. He said, what else did he say he did? He said, I built houses. I planted what? For my who? Yeah. He said, I built houses. I planted vineyards. In other words, I'm a real estate icon. I was a great farmer. I did everything a man can do. Trump ain't got nothing on me. None of them. You can put them all together. You can put Trump together. You can put all of them together. All y'all millionaires, billionaires. They ain't got nothing on me. He's out the biggest real estate builder man ever seen. I did vineyards. I made for myself gardens and parks. He said, I planted them in all what kinds of what? He said, I did my gardens. I made parks. I did gardens. I put every kind of tree in there you can put. He said, I made for myself what? He said, I made pools. Go ahead. He would water. Come on, y'all read.
Growing trees.
He said, growing forests of trees. Come to 7 verse. Go.
About male and female slaves.
What did he say he do?
I bought male and female.
He said, I bought male and female slaves. Wait a minute now. He said, I bought male, female slaves. He said, not only did I buy male and female slaves, guess what I did to them? I made them mate. And they made it, and they produced me more males and female slaves. So in other words, I not only got real estate, I not only got the finest things in life, but I bought slaves. I bought people. I owned people. I had slave producing slaves. I had it all. And y'all telling us, he ain't talking about us. He said, I had it all. Anything that life can surrender, bring to you, he said, I had it. Y'all listen to me. He said, I did all that. He said, I had slaves were born in my house. He said, I also had great what? Possession of herbs and flowers, and more than any who had ever been before me in Jerusalem. He said, I own more possessions than anybody ever before me. And anybody, ladies and gentlemen, history have stated, anybody after him still have not yet caught the wealth of Solomon. He said, I owned it all. I did everything a man want to do in life. He said, but I'm on this witness and stand telling you something today. It's vanity, infestation of spirit. Owning all that stuff means nothing. Now, you want to tell the people that's in the rat race, because the rat race runners, they think that's going to fulfill them. You see, in life, we're so deceived to think that stuff gonna make us who we are. No, we make stuff. We make the cars. We make the houses. We make the clothes. How does that stuff make us? We see somewhere in life, we think what we make makes us. No, we make it. The question was asked once, who should get the praise more? The instrument or the player of the instrument? Some people go get crazy. They start worshiping the piano. Oh, you great piano you are. You make the most wonderful sound in the world. You great piano. When you play rock and roll, you piano. You play gospel piano. You play classical music piano. You play easy music piano. But let's get for real. The piano plays nothing. The player plays the music. Who's the player? The person, the musician. The praise should go to the who? Who was one of our greatest orchestra? Beethoven. You ever heard of Beethoven? Bad. Maestro.
Very white.
Very white. Why? Man, when it came to music, he made the music make it sound. So Solomon said, I'm a maestro of my day and time. I did it all. He said, I own everything that a man can own. He said, and all of that. He said, I also gathered for myself what? Silver and what else? He said, I was on a journey like y'all. He said, I was on the same journey y'all on. He said, I built houses, I planted vineyard, I built pool, I bought slaves, I went out to silver, I own gold, I own silver, I own houses, I own everything. He said, I own all of that silver and gold and treasures of kings and what? He said, I own a king. I conquered and whooped other kings and took their stuff.
Wow.
I wound up owning their jurisdictions.
Wow.
I didn't just have my little city. I enlarged my territory. I took over territories. I grabbed their people. Everybody that lived in their jurisdiction, they had to become a part of my jurisdiction. I conquered it all. That's what he's saying now. Solomon's saying. He said, singers. He said, I conquered the gold and the gold. He said, all of that stuff. Then he turned around and said, I got what?
Sing.
Both what?
Men and women.
He said, I got both singers, men and women, and what?
Many concubines.
What is concubine? He said, girlfriends, mysteries. He said, I had plenty of women. People say this quite often about Solomon. Say Solomon had 600 wives. No, 300 wives and 600 concubines. They said the man had over 1,000 women. They had to be scheduled to spend time with him, if you know anything about this man. And they were the one that got him. They brought him down. Them 900 women, they got him. I'll tell you about that later. They got him. The baddest man in the world is a woman out there to get him. I ain't gonna get into that right now, but these women, why as great as this man were, he said, I had concubines, right? The delight of what?
Sons of man.
Come on, continue.
So I became great.
So I became great, surpassed all who were what?
Me.
All who were before me in Jerusalem. Also, my wisdom remained with me. He say, how do you think I got all this stuff? My wisdom, what God gave me, stayed with me. That's how I was able to accumulate all this stuff, bring all this stuff to me. He said, but in all of that, my wisdom kept talking to me. Are you happy yet?
Yeah.
Wisdom kept talking to him. You got all that? Are you fulfilled yet? Wisdom was talking to him. Say, Solomon, yeah, you got all the women. Are you happy? Solomon kept saying, no. You got all the pools, biggest pools that could be built. Are you happy? Wisdom kept talking to him. Say, no. You got all the money in the land of Jerusalem. Are you happy yet, Solomon?
Wow.
No. See, we think in life, stuff makes us happy. I tell you what, get that little stuff, whatever it is, and have it for a while. I'm telling you something. So you don't realize that you get that stuff, it's a price come with that stuff. You know how many people gonna come at you trying to get your stuff? People that dream of living where you are in life, where you are in life, and when they find out that you got what they want to get at, they try to find a way to take it from you. You got to forever be on your game trying to keep it. Now you got another whole something to deal with. Now you got all this stuff. Now everybody after you, the government and everybody else after you trying to get your stuff. Like a man got a beautiful woman. How many men see her one of a day? Want to get that beautiful woman. I'm serious. Want to take that beautiful woman, try to get her to come live at his address. He have no idea because she's beautiful on the outside what the makeup is up here. Take her home. Listen, take her home. And take her home, ladies and gentlemen, and guess what happens when he takes her home? When he takes her home, ladies and gentlemen, he can't even deal with her psyche. He can't deal with her mindset. You know why he can't deal with her mindset? Ain't prepared to. He attracted because of the physical, but when you take her home, because mentally, you be want to take her back out your house in 30 minutes. Oh my God, I'm out of my league. Guess what? So I became great, and I surpassed all who were in Jerusalem. Always. Watch this now. He said, through all of that, he said, my wisdom remain what? My wisdom remain what?
With me.
Say this for me. Say wisdom.
Wisdom
remain at my resident. That's me. You the resident. He said, wisdom didn't leave me. It stayed with me. Watch what he says. Now watch this. Bang. And whatever my eyes desired, what he said?
I did not keep from
you. Stop. He got me. He got me. Let me just say, you're in trouble whenever you see something you won't put yourself on a monitor and limit yourself.
Wow.
You're in trouble.
Wow.
I'm going to say that again. You're in trouble whenever you see something and you desire and you just go get it. That's like eating every food that you see. You know some of that food ain't good for you, right? But you're just going to eat every food you see. You know some of that's not good for you. You got to watch. See, he said, my eyes, everything my eyes saw, everything I desired. He said, everything. He said, I did not keep from what? I didn't keep nothing from my eyes. I kept my heart from what?
No pleasure.
Hey! I'm going to say, what?
All that I got.
What?
Wow.
Y'all want a party? When? How long? I'll furnish it. I'll sponsor it. Y'all want the best band? I got them. Y'all want the best musicians? I got them. Y'all want the best singers? I got them. Y'all want the best dancers? I got them. Y'all want the best food? I got it. You want the best cameras? I got it. He said all that in this. I got the best cameras. I got the best food. I got the best dancers. I got the best singers. He said, I got it all. The scripture said the man was so wealthy, the king of Sheba, a queen that heard about him. She traveled with her entourage. It took her across the desert, took over 6 months to get to him on the camera. She came from across the world just to meet King Solomon because she heard of his great wisdom and knowledge that by the time she got to him, when she came in there, you couldn't step before a king, but in a certain way you had to step before a king. When she stepped on, she brought wealth and sought wealth at his feet just to talk to him. And she said she was amazed when she walked into his courtyard. She was amazed at his attendants, the wealth his attendants had, the people that waited on him and worked for him, the accessories, that what they had on the clothes, and the way the people stood around that waited on the king had gold on gold everywhere. His people that worked for him, his partners that ran business for him. Ladies and gentlemen, they were so wealthy. They was wealthy because they was connected to the man that had everything. She was amazed. She stayed there with him over a year or two, and she was the queen of her own country, and she wound up marrying him. Fell in love with him. Oh, bad boy Solomon. He said, I didn't hold that back. I found pleasure in all this. He said, what? He said, for my heart I kept pleasure. For my heart found pleasure in all what? Found pleasure in all my what gift?
Toil.
Everything I did, my heart said, give me more, give me more, give me more. My scripture says about the heart is deceitful, wicked. Wow. It will deceive you. Your heart will make you think you got to have something. Wow. You got to have it. Wow. Your heart will tell you got to have it. I gotta have that house because my girlfriend got one. I gotta have that car because my girlfriend got one. I gotta have them clothes because my girlfriend got. I gotta do my hair like this because they do that. I gotta do they do that. I gotta do this because they do it. You are being deceived with your heart. Many of us don't even know don't know ourselves because other people tell us who we ought to be. We're not true to our authentic. Who we authentically, who God made you. Is in our society, like your daughter hair do, people don't want to wear their natural hair no more. The natural nails. Natural. So you got to be kidding me. Wow. But guess what? Some of them are getting bold enough to not say, I want to go by it. I want to know who I am. Some people trying to find out who they really are. They're tired of letting people tell them who they are. Tired of letting flesh, letting the heart, and letting things tell them who they are. So he says, and all of that, he says, I reward, go. He said, I found pleasure in all my toils, right? And this was my what?
Reward for all my toil.
What was my reward? What is it, my reward?
And this was my reward for all my toils. Then
the pleasure was the reward for all my what?
Toil.
See, pleasure, seeking pleasure. Go. And then I considered all that was what?
All my hands had done, and the toil I had expended in doing it.
Come on.
And behold, all was vanity and a strive to win.
See, there you go again. He said again, after I went through all that, brother, he said I was running and winning.
What is that? He still was playing catch up.
He said, I can't never catch the wind. Running into all this stuff, I'm never going to be fulfilled in this stuff. He said, what is my conclusion? Here you go again. Y'all talk to me. What did he say again? In doing all, behold, all was what? Vanity and what?
And
striving after the wind. And there was what?
Nothing to be gained on the sun.
Wait a minute.
How in the world you can say that and you got everything?
Yeah, you gonna catch what he finna say, but he gonna tell you why. He gonna ask the reason why he feel like that. I experienced the best in life. He said I experienced the best in life. Well, how can you turn around and say best station of what? Best station of what?
Vanity.
No, best station of what? Spirit. He said, all this stuff did is best my spirit. And you got to catch this. He said, all that stuff did, and all the partying, and all the women, and all the clothing, and all the houses, he said, all it did, with my wisdom standing tight, it just vexed me.
Wow. What vexed you?
Trouble.
So his heart wanted all these things.
And what happened?
And it was contradictory to his spirit.
Vexed him. He wasn't happy. He had all the women.
Wow.
Had 9,000 of them. Had slaves born in his house. He had everything that you think you want in life. That's why God let this book, let this preacher. See, God, they call Solomon the preacher. They let God put this in the Bible so we can understand. This man is giving us a shortcut to look at life. He said, we're all going to conclude. We're going to get to the same. We're going to all come to the same conclusion.
Wow. Like, you know, you hear about people have all this money. They wealthy beyond. They got big house, all kind of cars, this, that, other thing, and they still be miserable. And for those who don't have all that, they be like, how can he be miserable when he got everything?
Mm-hmm. But that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Stuff doesn't fulfill life. We think it does. We think more money make more happiness. Watch you sit now. I'm going to conclude with something. So nothing to be gained. He said, behold, all was what? Vanity and what?
Striving after the wind.
He said, all of it I did. I was like running after the wind, and there was nothing to be gained under the sun. Under the sun is on earth. Watch this now in the conclusion. This is what I'm about to say. I'm going to conclude with this. I want you to see what he's going to say. Johnson, you with me today? Okay. Okay. All right. At least you're honest. She here physically, but she ain't here. Listen to her. But listen. She going when she see her here what I'm saying though. But watch this. Watch what he says now. And what he's about to say. He's going to say something now. And his observation, what he noticed after all of this, he noticed so. Now, what I'm going to show you now, I'm going to close with this. And next week, I'm going to pull some more because I got too caught up in this morning, my study over here. It just helped me to understand life, this journey I'm on. Watch what he wind up saying. He wind up saying in his conclusion, he going to say in the conclusion for today, he going to say this, an assignment of giving. Watch what he say, Ecclesiastes 2:20. What he says?
For the person.
Come on, everybody read this from me. Start again, 26th verse, go. For to the person who what?
To the person who pleases him, God gives wisdom.
Stop. For the person who do what?
Pleases him.
Pleases him who?
God.
For the person who pleases God. Now I want you to catch this because this is important. Say that. Say what I just said.
It's important.
For the person who pleases
for the person who pleases him,
God. Okay, say it again, everybody. For the person who pleases God. I want you to catch this.
God.
Say it again.
Person who pleases God.
Okay. For the person who pleases God, watch the next part. That's why I went by. For the person who pleases God, he gives what?
He gives wisdom.
For the person who pleases God, he gives what?
Wisdom.
What is wisdom? Here's wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to utilize knowledge properly. I'm going to say that again. Wisdom is the ability to utilize knowledge properly. I'm going to give you an example. I need you to take two numbers and get the 10 by adding together. Knowledge, I got the knowledge that I can take 2 plus 8, add them together. 2 plus 8 to give me my what? Desire? 10. Wisdom told me how to get 2 and 8. Wisdom also tell me how to get 7 and 3 and get the what? 10. What was wisdom tell you how to get the 10? Give me another 2 numbers. 9 and 1. Great. So 9 and 1 will get you the 10, right? That's what wisdom does. It shows you the ability to take knowledge and utilize it to get to your desired destiny. Many people have knowledge, but they don't have wisdom. They don't know how to get where they're trying to get to, but they'll sit here and beat you with knowledge, but they don't have the wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to walk knowledge in the earth effectively and accomplish your goals or tasks or tools. In this case, this man say, I had wisdom. I got everything. It taught me the tools of life. I got everything I wanted. But at the end, wisdom spoke to him and said, well, what did you accomplish? Wisdom kept talking to him. Watch what he says. God gives to those who love him. Watch this. I'm going to close with this. He says what? For the person who pleases God, him, God gives what? Wisdom, knowledge, and what?
Joy.
But to the who?
To the sinner,
he gives him what?
Work of gathering.
That's why I like this little bite. Oh, I like this device.
Wow.
Watch this. To the person that loves him, what did he give?
Wisdom.
Knowledge and what? And what else? There you go. Let's try it again. What did he give to the person that loves him? Wisdom, knowledge, and what?
Joy.
And joy. Again, what did he give to the person that loves him? He gives to the person that loves him wisdom, knowledge, and joy to the person that loves him. To the sinner, he also gives. God is a giver. He assigns things, the assignment of giving. God has assignments to give. He gives to all people. He don't discriminate. He gives to all people. Watch what he says. He gives wisdom and joy and wisdom to one. Watch what he does to the next. He gives the work of gathering and collecting so that they may give to the one who what?
Pleases God.
He gives the assignment that may please God. This is true vanity and chasing after the wind. Solomon said, in my discovery of life, he said, I realized that people that love God, he said, God give them everything. He said, but when it got me, he said, the sinners that don't love God, he said, God gave them assignment to go out and work and to build and do everything. And they're out there building and collecting only to wind up and give it. It's going to be transferred right to the hand of the ones who love God. He said, so what is that to them? Vanity. He said, they're out there building the vineyards, they doing this and doing that. He said, everybody that please, he said, I saw this in my life. In my perception of understanding with this wisdom, I realized that every time the sinners got something in their hand, it wind up over in the hand of the righteous. He said he build houses. The houses wind up in the hand of the righteous. They build vineyards. The vineyards wind up in the hand of the righteous. And then he tell him how he gonna send another book. He said the wealth of the wicked was transferred to the hand of the righteous. You mean to tell me? He say to the poor sinners, vain vestation of spirit. Then he's going to turn around, and I'm going to deal with this maybe a little bit next week. He's going to turn around and talk about when he get ready to die. He said, the people dead is better off than me. I was reading that this morning. He talking about the dead better off than the living. And he got to talking about the world, the tricks of the world, the task, getting caught up in this rat race. See, we don't understand it. We're in a rat race. Trying to get it, trying to make it happen. And guess what? You running after stuff ain't yours. Was never yours. You ain't gonna take it. He gonna tell me, he say, all that stuff you think you got in life, you didn't take nothing with you. So what is it? When you laying on the bed and you looking up and you about to die. Let's say you got millions in an account. You got the finest of cars. What you got? What you taking with you? Nothing. You had the best of women, the best of men, the best of food, the best of everything. What did you take with you? Nothing. We're all going to wind up to the same conclusion. Leave him empty. Why? Because it ain't yours. Your life ain't even yours. You own nothing. Say that. Say, I own nothing.
I own nothing.
You know how liberating that is if you think about that? I'm going to say that again. You know how liberating it is? The burden is on the owner.
Yep.
You don't care what happened to this place, but the owner does.
Yep.
This place, somebody come in and vandalize and break it. It's the burden of the owner to repair this place, right? You don't care. So who burdensome is it? Just make sure you got all your needs met. It's God's. There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's the point Solomon making here. Solomon said, I was in the rat race trying to get everything I had to find out at the end. He said, none of this stuff mine. It don't belong to me. He said, I was running after this stuff, brother, give it like I was crazy. He said, I finally, at my conclusion, I realized vain infestation of spirit. We wake up, he say, we were what Jesus, when Jesus walked there, Jesus say, let every day take his thought of his own. He said, don't you be worried about what you're going to eat, what you're going to wear, what you're going to dress. He said, your Father in heaven already know what you need. Before you came to the earth, before I told Pop, my brother, him one day, I said, Pop, God is such a powerful manager that he's going to make sure enough pools come to your house, enough come to my house, enough come to the other man. He's going to manage, distribute, and he's going to distribute, because what love does is distribute out. See, love is a distribution center. All it does is keep distributing. The people that really found out what love is, all they is distribution centers. People that don't know what love is, they be talking about, get this for a rainy day. And one event can happen, clean your pocket out. And show you in life, you can't, you think you can. I'm gonna tell you what Solomon said. He said it's all what? Vanity and what? Vestation and spirit. He says chasing the wind.
Wow, good word.
Listen to me. It ain't about your bank account. It ain't about your education. I'm trying to submit something to your thinking, real, just raw as it can get. I don't care how good he look, how good she look, how articulate, how well they can articulate their words. I don't care how big your house is, how fine your car is. It ain't nothing but a problem. It ain't nothing but a problem. You live in the biggest house, you got the biggest repair bills. You got the finest of cars, you got the finest of car when it comes to repairing the cars. You got the woman that what they call high maintenance woman, you just got to keep that money rolling to her. You got the man that want this and that, you got to keep doing what he want. You ever heard the old saying, the same thing it took to get your baby? You're going to take the same thing, what? Man, you can't even hardly keep them. You can be still trying to get the same thing you can't always keep. Why? Solomon said, I learned something. That one man gathers and another man enjoys. One man go out and build a house. Another man wind up living in that house. He's going to say in this conclusion, not today, but he's going to say, listen, I've learned one thing what life is about. He's going to get to the conclusion. He said, it ain't about this stuff. It ain't about this. It ain't about stuff. He said, finest women, money, treasures, vineyards, pools, sheep, goat, finest chariots, finest people, the smartest people work for me. I had it all. All it did is vex me. I was chasing the wind. I could never catch the wind. You still after that wind? Every now and then look at your husband and say, baby, you still chasing that wind? Let me know when you catch it. Every now and then tell your wife, baby, you still chasing the wind? You're going to never catch the wind.
Wow.
I pray today that this lesson has been a blessing to your soul. We've submitted a lesson to you today. It's calling. This lesson today is called None Like Me. And who I refer to is God. God say, nobody like me. Solomon said in this lesson today, it is a burdensome task trying to figure life out. Life at times can be difficult. Life at times can be a burdensome. The job is not your answer. Your husband is not your answer. Your wife is not your answer. Your stuff is not your answer. None of those things can fulfill the longing that you have inside. This preacher going to tell us in the next week or so what's the conclusion of his whole study, his intellect, the wisdom that God had given him. He discovered one thing. It wasn't about any of his possessions. None of those possessions fulfilled his yearning and desire that he was longing to fulfill. He had all the women. He had over 1,000 women. They couldn't do it, brothers. He had all this stuff that a man could give a woman. That couldn't do it. It was only the one thing that concluded and made him happy. but then there were things that turned them away from God. Remember, stay tuned. We're going to conclude this in the next couple of weeks, hopefully talking about what am I seeking and what am I after in life. God bless you and keep you as I pray. God bless you and bye-bye.